Do you need quick and affordable red, white, and blue decor for your outdoor party? I have got you covered with easy DIYs for your 4th of July, Memorial Day, or all summer long barbecues, or any get together.
Hi, I'm Loli, and I'm so glad you are here.
All right, for this, we will be using this basket that I got during Christmas from the local thrift shop and 3 solar lights. I wish I had 3 of these patriotic ones, but for some reason I only had the blue and the clear, so I'm going to use this red one. To start, we are going to fix up our basket. I'm going to take some ocean from Waverly and cover this top ring so I can cover up the trees and the bottom as well. Question for you. Do you use these Waverly paints? And if you have you noticed that about 6 months or maybe a year, they become very thick and it's a lot harder to work with them? Is that something that's just happening to me? I'm wondering if it's the environment in which I keep them. I usually keep them in my basement, which is a little bit colder. Or is there something that happens to this paint after that period of time? But let me know in the comment section. So in order to remediate this and be able to use this and it glides on my project, I just added a little bit of water to my paintbrush and mixed it together into that cap. So I was able to glide it easier and cover up the Christmas trees on here. You can see here that this is doing such a great job. So I only had to give only 1 coat of paint to both rings. If you enjoyed this video so far, please don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. And while you're there, go ahead and subscribe and hit the notification bell so YouTube notifies you each time that I upload a new video. All these things are free and they mean the world to me. All right, so here I'm using some antique wax from Waverly and I'm slowly building that grungy feeling all over this basket. I'm making sure to offload most of the antique wax as I go so I have more control on how heavy my antique wax going into the basket, and I just kept going with this process until it was to my liking. And I did the same thing with the inside as well. Next, I took some of this floral foam, pressed it onto the bottom of the basket, and now I'm going to take each one of my solar lights and I'm going to remove all of the tags, take that stick from the bottom that you will usually stick on the ground and put it onto the bottom of each one of them and then stick them into my floral foam. I'm going to try to stagger them and we'll put in the 2 that look the same on the sides, and I'm going to place the red one in the middle. If I could and I had another one, I will be adding the red one of the same kind of solar light to this. Now I'm taking some of this boxwood that I got from Walmart and I'm not going to cut it. I'm just going to remove all the tags of them, then fold the stems in half and stick them all around that floral foam until my little basket is completely filled. Using a total of 4 picks. I give them a nice fluff so they will be nicely full and nothing will be seen. Then I took one of these stars that I got from Dollar Tree this year. It was hard to remove it by myself, so I took one of these staple removers. I got this at Walmart. If I got this at Amazon, if you're interested in getting it, it will be linked in the description box below. And I'm removing the staples that are both in the top and the bottom, and I'm keeping the other 2 pieces for different projects. Then I added a nice amount of hot glue to the front of my basket, and I'm adhering my star right there at the front. I'm going to hold it in place until it completely dries. Then I took my blush brush with some antique wax. I'm going to lightly dust some antique wax all over this just to age it. That way it matches my basket a lot better. And this is it for this project. I love how this turned out. Let me know in the comment section below what do you think about this one. For this project, we'll be using this basket that I got from a local thrift shop, but I guess it was brand new because it still had the tag. And it came from Christmas tree shops. That store closed down sadly, but anyway, I'm going to take some of these stars that I got from Dollar Tree and I'm going to use 8 of them. I'm going to paint them with some of this ocean from Waverly. I'm also going to use some of this Waverly Antique Wax and also the Flamingo Red from Apple Barrel. I'm painting 2 stars with the ocean, 2 with the Flamingo Red, and the other 4 with the Antique Wax. And here they are. I left them very distressed so they will look mostly like a stain. I'm going to take some hot glue, add it to one of the stars that is stained with the Waverly Antique Wax, and position it right there at the center. Then to add the red one, I'm trying to figure out where is the top section of the star. Guys, I don't know. It was late at night. Any side could be the top. I added hot glue to the red one there and added it on that left-hand side. And then added some hot glue to the blue one, being very careful not to drop it on my leg again. I did that. I still have the mark. So I learned that I'm being careful with my small pieces, making sure that everything dries, and then removing any excess hot glue that seeped from the edges. For the edges here, I'm going to add the stained stars to this one. My friends, today's video is part of the DIY Inspiration collaboration that is hosted monthly by Katie from Lady Red Crafted, myself Loli from Loli D's Creations, and this month we have the lovely May from Craftery with May, co-hosted in the month of May. And this month's theme is Patriotic Decor. Make sure that you head on over to the channels and to the playlist and show everyone some love. All right, for the last 3 stars, I put them on the other side in that order, and that is it. You can just add some Dollar Tree utensils to it, and this is the perfect dispenser for your barbecues this summer. Let me know what you think. For this project, you will need a plate from Dollar Tree, a bowl, and a candle holder. I'm going to take some Fix All adhesive from Dollar Tree as well, and I'm going to add it to the bottom section of the candle holder. I had to confess that I used this adhesive before and I thought that it didn't work. But guys, I did not read the directions. You're supposed to adhere it or add it onto your surface, let it sit for 10 minutes, and then you're going to come back and put it onto the other surface you're trying to glue it to. I have never read the directions, and this is why it didn't work before. I'm going to add the candle holder to the middle of the plate, press it in place, and add some fixed hole adhesive to the top rim of the candle holder as well. And the same thing that I did earlier, I'm going to let this sit for 10 minutes to dry. And then after that, I'm going to remove that tag from the bottom of the bowl using some heat and add it to the top section of that candle holder. First here, I thought that the candle holder was going to sit in this little edge here in the inside portion of the bowl. I should have measured before I put this together, but I didn't. So if you do this, put the Fix All on that white section instead, wait 10 minutes, and then we are going to position the bowl right onto there. The bowl sits directly, that little ridge fits exactly onto the edges of the candle holder. Turn your piece around before you adhere everything to make sure that everything is nice and centered. And once you're sure, what I did was put something heavy over this and let it sit overnight. And that is it for this piece. Let me know in the comment section what do you think about this one. For this project, we'll be using this Tic Tac Toe that I got from Dollar Tree. We're going to remove it from the packaging. This is going to be quite a simple project. We are just going to give it a patriotic flair. You know how that song goes? All you need is love. So here, all we're going to need is some paint and some love. It suits it with the X's and O's, right? Anyway, I'm going to take some of this apple barrel paint, and this is in the color flamingo red. I was way too liberal here. Do not add this much paint because we did not need this much. I ended up spreading it around, and I ended up giving it a total of 3 coats, and I had to take away some of that paint because it's way too much. It was way too messy. So just take your time, paint nice and neat, and give this about 3 coats. However, if you use chalk paint, I'm sure you will probably just need just 1 coat. And ta-da! Here it is, nicely painted and dry. Now we're going to work with the X's and O's. I'm going to use this Waverly chalk paint in the color Ocean, and I'm going to add the paint to the sides of each one of the X's and O's and the back as well, and I'll be leaving the front completely unpainted because that will be the white of our flag, and I really love that wood grain that each one of the X's and O's have. Once everything was nice and dry, we are going to go ahead and reposition each one of our pieces back onto the board, and we have a perfect tic tac toe game for all summer long. It's going to be used for doing your Memorial Day celebration or 4th of July. The possibilities are endless. And there you go. I win twice. Let me know what you think.
I used 2 of these candle holders from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to paint them using my Black & Decker paint and primer. I did a total of 4 coats of this, trying to keep them very light. Once they were dry, I took some of this navy blue color from Kilts. It's a Kilts chalk paint, and I'm going to completely cover the bottom section of each of the candle holders. My friends, thank you so much for clicking on my video. I hope you enjoy the 3 beautiful DIYs I created today, and they're perfect for your upcoming 4th of July entertaining needs. If you enjoyed this content, please make sure to give me a thumbs up and subscribe and leave me a comment, and don't forget to set your notifications over to all so you don't miss out on any of my upcoming videos. Thank you so much. And remember that this is all free and it means the world to me. Once the candle holder is dried, I'm going to go ahead and take some E6000 and I'm going to add them to the top section of the candle holders. And then I'm going to take these 2 glasses that I got from Dollar Tree. I'm removing the sticker from the bottom of them, and we're going to position them right onto these candle holders. And I make sure to have them nicely centered. I let them sit overnight, and once they were dried, I applied some more of that chalk paint on that ridge you see right there along the entire portion of the candle holder. I also went in with a very fine tip brush, and I am cleaning up the edges right here, making sure that everything is nice and straight. And that is it for this one. These are perfect for your 4th of July barbecues. You can have them up in your table, set up in your tables, on your decks. They are awesome. I used 2 pizza pans from Dollar Tree, and I'm painting them using the Kilts chalk paint in the navy as you see there. And I'm going to completely cover the front of this piece with it. I gave it a total of 3 coats. Once this was completely dry, I took some of these beads from Dollar Tree and I'm using a combination of E6000 and hot glue to attach this to the back rim of the first pizza pan. This is the one that I painted the front of. I worked in small sections to avoid that the hot glue will dry too quickly, so I added first my E6000, then my hot glue, and I quickly placed my beads, by the section there's to see there where the holes towards the top. Now I'm adding E6000 on top of the entire surface of all the beads once I was done applying them to the first pizza pan, and then I'm going to come in and add some hot glue in a couple sections as well, just so I have that instant hole. And then I'm going to have this sit aside, put a little bit of weight over it. I just put my paint over it and placed it there and left it overnight. In the meantime, I am painting 4 of these SKUs from Dollar Tree with this flamenco red from Apple Barrel. And once everything dried the next day, I am gluing this on using some hot glue. You can also use E6000, but I wanted this to be done pretty quickly, so I added hot glue for now. But later on, I'll probably go back in with some E6000 to make sure that this stays permanent. This is wood hot glue that I used. Then I flipped it to the front and I'm going to add some stars. I'm going to use this stencil that I created. I actually created this also for another DIY you'll see at the end. But I'm using this part right here, created a stencil using removable vinyl. I'm placing it down, making sure that it's nice and flat, and I'm going to add some of that flamenco red paint to the stars. My idea was to place red on the middle section only and white on the rest, but somehow I forgot about that at this moment and I put red in every single star. But you'll see later on how I fixed that. But you can, this is completely personal preference. You can have them all white, all red, or a combination of the different colors. It's completely up to you. So here's when I realized that I painted the wrong color. So I'm going back in top of the red with the white, which was my intention from the get-go, to put white on the first and last row of these stars and leave the middle red. So here's how I fixed that. Now it's reveal time. You see here I'm trying to remove the stencil. It was coming out nicely and then it wasn't. Look at that part. But it's fine. We're going to go ahead and let it dry and we're going to fix it. This look is also cool. If you like that whole worn surface kind of thing, that's fine. You can use that. I was going for worn but not as worn. So I went back in with a small paintbrush and I can still see where the rest of the star would have been. And I just came in and painted it over and fixed it as best as I could. And it actually came out pretty cute. So now that it's all dry, I'm going to come in with some Mod Podge. This is dishwasher safe and food safe Mod Podge. It's not toxic. I use one of these bamboo cutting boards from the Dollar Tree, from the Dollar Tree Plus section. I painted it white with 3 coats of my Black & Decker paint and primer. Then I took 4 of these like dice pieces from the Dollar Tree. It comes in packs of 3. I use one pack, full pack, and then one of another. And I'm painting it with a navy blue color that I've been using for my previous DIYs. I just make sure to paint completely all of the sides. I just left one side open and to glue it later on. Then I realized that the cutting board was actually bleedy. You can see yellowing. So I came back in with a primer from Kilts and a sealer to try to remediate that issue. Then I painted it again with another coat of my paint and primer, and now I am taping it in sections using some regular masking tape from Dollar Tree. So I'm using the tape to use as a spacer as well. I wanted my flag that I'm creating here. This is a flag that I'm making, by the way. And I wanted it to start with the red. So that's why you see me, skipping it that way. And I did this until I got completely to the bottom of the entire cutting board. Once I got down to the third piece of tape, I started doing it the entire length of the cutting board, and there you see me actually, I did right there on the third one, and then I'm cutting off a section on the very left hand side there, and then I taped it all the way to the bottom. And now I'm going to come in with my flamingo red from Apple Barrel and gave a total of 3 coats to every single one of the lines right here until I get to the very bottom, but making sure to leave that square out of it. There you go, how it's looking so far. Now it's time for reveal. I love this part, guys. I'm removing the tape. It wasn't perfect, but it was beautiful. So I kept it as it was. I didn't touch it up or nothing. I liked actually how rustic, it kind of gave it a little rustic feel, the little bleed, so I left it as is. I am drying up the paint completely, and then I'm going to come in with some weathered masking tape, and I'm going to section off these pieces here so I'm able to place the stars on there. This is the stars that came with the stencil that I did for the previous DIY. I'm placing it down on there over the white, making sure that they stay nice and flat underneath. I just used that little ruler to make sure that this was completely sealed in to the wood. And then I'm going to go ahead and remove that paper off, making sure to have the stars stay put in place. It was a little bit tricky, not so much in this part right here. I'm just making sure that the top was nicely placed, and then I pulled it out, and for some reason a star decided to leave for a moment there, but I just placed it right back down. And now I'm coming back in with the same navy chalk paint that I used previously, and I am going to use my dabber there and completely dab this whole section, and just make sure to have the paint not too much on there so it doesn't have any bleeds. And I did like 2 coats of paint over this. I sped up the process with my heat gun, and then I'm going to go ahead and remove those little stickers I put down in the beginning. And look how cute, guys. I don't know, I find this process to be so satisfying, to just uncover a bleed free surface after you do stenciling or reverse stenciling in this case right here. So I'm leaving this in because I'm really enjoying looking at it. I hope you guys do as well. This is so satisfying. Anyway, so once I got this done, you see there that it came out nice. I just had a little bit of bleed, so I just scratched it off, and we're removing the tape here. We didn't have no bleed there either. Awesome. And now we are going to give them feet. So remember those 4 cubes that we did before? We are going to add it to the bottom of this. So I just added a combination of regular wood glue and wood hot glue to attach these to the 4 corners of the bottom of that cutting board. If you see there, it is painted. I wanted it to be completed and nicely finished, so I also painted the bottom section. And ta-da! Look how cute that looks. I did have a little bit of bleed of the white there. I touched it up. And now we are going to seal everything with some dishwasher safe and non-toxic Mod Podge. Well, I hope you love these. Let me know which one is your favorite, because you know I love to know that.
My friend, as always, thank you so much for watching. Be blessed, be a blessing, and craft responsibly. And if you enjoyed today's content, here is some more videos you are sure to enjoy. Thank you again so much for watching. You're amazing. Bye.